Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar for Caterpillar's Building the Future Workforce Challenge. My name is Christabel Boyana, and I'm with Carrot. We are the agency that is supporting Caterpillar for this challenge. Carrot also powers a website and a platform for Building the Future Workforce Challenge. This webinar is being recorded and will be available on the news and updates page of the challenge website by next week. We'll also email it to those who have registered for the challenge. So we reserved most of our time over the next hour for your questions, and we'll share our website on the screen throughout this session. Soon you will hear from Caterpillar Inc. I'll then do a quick walkthrough of the challenge website with my Carrot colleague Ethan Matthews. Then my colleagues Amy Klein and Amade Silva, also from Carrot, will help open it up for your questions. So any questions that we received by end of day Monday on July 6th have been received and will be answered today, so no need to re-enter them into the Q&A tab. But as new questions come up, please type them into the questions box, and we'll answer as many as we can within our allotted time today. If you have a question that does not get answered during this call, we encourage you to email buildingthefuture@carrot.net, and we will follow up with you directly. Before we move on, here are some very important dates to keep in mind. The deadline to register for Building the Future Workforce Challenge is in 3 weeks, 5:00 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Tuesday, July 30th. Please note that registration is required to participate and submit an application. Please save the date for our next webinar on Thursday, August 10th. The sign-up link for that session will be shared with all registered applicants. And then the application submission deadline is 5:00 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Tuesday, August 25th. And just to note that if you have questions that are very specific to your organization or your proposed solution, or if you have questions after today's session, please email us instead at buildingthefuture@carrot.net. Now I'm pleased to turn things over to Asha Varghese, Head of Corporate Social Responsibility at Caterpillar Inc.
Thank you, Christabel. Well, good day, everyone. To start off, I want to thank all of you for joining us today for the very first Q&A webinar for Caterpillar Building the Future Workforce Challenge. We are genuinely excited to see so much interest in helping shape the future of advanced manufacturing and industry technicians' careers. Before I dive into the details of the challenge, I want to introduce my team. Nikki Tyler and Ashley Keys have joined me today. They're both part of the team that is supporting the challenge, as well as the overall workforce initiative for Caterpillar. So if you're here, I think you're already familiar with the problem we are trying to address. The advanced manufacturing sector is facing an urgent workforce challenge, and the need for innovative, sustainable solutions has so much need for that right now. It's never been greater. Just to put some numbers to the need that we're seeing today, the U.S. manufactured goods exported totally is more than 1.7 trillion in 2025. And it's estimated that by 2023, about 3.8 million manufacturing jobs will likely be needed. So these numbers make one thing very clear for us. The closing today's and tomorrow's skills gap require a very bold, forward-thinking solution that we can keep pace with rapidly evolving technology. Because we know that we can't build workforce of tomorrow or the future by relying on the tools of the past. Hence, it makes it even more important for us to have this particular challenge to help Caterpillar and many in our industry really identify, test, as well as scale solutions that will address these advanced manufacturing and industry technician skills gap. So what are we seeking here today? We're seeking innovative, sustainable solutions across 3 priority areas. I think we're all familiar that the manufacturing industry as a whole has a need for building interest and awareness of advanced manufacturing and technician careers among students, teachers, parents, and other key influencers. So that's one element of this particular challenge that we're looking for solutions, as well as how are we preparing the new workforce that are entering for day one of success with flexible, sustainable, job-ready solutions. The third element of his, how are we upskilling and reskilling the current manufacturing workforce, as well as the industry technician workforce? So these are our three priority pillars for which we are really looking for innovative, sustainable solutions. Up to 5 awards of 1 million each will be granted, along with the opportunity to pilot and implement solutions at one or more Caterpillar facilities and or communities within the continental United States, Brazil, India, or Mexico. And a core requirement that we can't emphasize enough is that solutions must remain relevant and evolving technology, ensuring that the breakthrough innovation and human potential rise together. We really want both of those elements to come together in this particular challenge and the solutions that we implement. So today's goal is actually quite simple. Let's walk through the fair, open, and transparent process together and answer any questions that you guys may have about eligibility, the application, and the evaluation. Just one important note as part of this webinar is we want to ensure fairness. We're not able to offer guidance or feedback on any specific ideas or proposals ahead of the submission deadline. So with that, we welcome you to this webinar as well as to the challenge, and we look forward to reviewing all your submissions. And I will turn it back over to Cristobal from the CARET team. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Asha. Now let's walk through the website and the process to participate in Building the Future Workforce Challenge. So a good first step to determine whether you're a good fit for this opportunity is the Participant Readiness tool, which you can access here from the main drop-down menu. The tool walks you through several questions to determine eligibility for this challenge. If you answer no to any of the questions, please explore ways to strengthen your team or your proposed solution, such as securing other partners. And if you answer yes to each question in the readiness tool, it is likely you are a strong fit for the challenge, and we encourage you to register. So again, registration is required for you to fully access the platform and submit an application. And registration is very simple. You go to the upper right-hand corner or footer of any page on the website and click on the yellow button that counts down the number of days left to register. And note that if you're already registered and logged in, it will say return to dashboard. You'll then be instructed to create and confirm your account. And then once confirmed, you'll be able to submit some basic information about you and your organization so that we can better understand our registrant community. There, you'll also be able to opt in to receive an email confirmation of your registration. And if you're able to access the online application form and forums on the platform, then you have successfully registered for the challenge. The Building the Future Workforce Challenge, like all of our challenges, are rooted in the values of openness, transparency, and fairness. We want to be sure that everyone who registers and applies for this opportunity knows exactly what we expect from them, when and how they are going to be scored, and who will be evaluating their solutions. This website is built as an instructional guide to understand that process. So an important resource to review, maybe even before you register, is the read-only version of the application requirements on our website. The full text of the application is available for any visitor to this site. You can see all of the questions, prompts, requirements, word count limits. You'll see the application has several sections. You're encouraged to read all of them so that you have a good grasp of what is required to submit a full application. Once you've done that, you should have a strong sense of what you will need to do to apply. Now, let's take a look at the About page. This provides additional details about the challenge, including more information about those 3 solution categories that Asha had reviewed with everyone. Next, we will go to the Rules page. So here you can read about the legal stipulations governing your participation. You can find the eligibility criteria and learn more about the detailed terms and conditions. Once we pass that submission deadline, we will conduct an administrative review to make sure that all submissions comply with the rules and our application requirements. And then all complete and valid applications will move on to our next phase of evaluation, which is peer-to-peer review. So let's dive into how applications will be evaluated. So on the challenge website, you can click on scoring process, then scoring rubric to see the 4 criteria that will be used during peer-to-peer review, as well as by the evaluation panel to score and comment on their assigned submissions. The 4 criteria are future-proof, sustainable impact, feasible, and scalable. Each trait consists of a prompt that details what each of those criteria mean in this context, and each trait will be given a score between 0 and 5. Here you can toggle back and forth between the scoring ranges for any given trait. And the scoring range definition will appear to provide further detail on what a low versus a high score means for the Building the Future Workforce Challenge. Please familiarize yourselves with this rubric to help build a strong proposal. Now this brings us to the actual scoring process. We'll ask you to check out the evaluation page on the website to learn more about this. So as mentioned, all complete and valid applications will move on to peer-to-peer review, which is required for all participants to complete to remain eligible for the Building the Future Workforce Challenge. Please do consider this as you solidify your plans to apply. So peer review will take place over a few weeks during the month of October. And during this time, each lead organization will be required to review and provide scores and comments on 5 other applications using the scoring rubric. Your review will happen on the same platform that you are using to submit your application. And then once peer review is complete, selection of top scoring submissions will move into evaluation panel review. The evaluation panel judge details are coming soon and will be comprised of individuals of various backgrounds and expertise within those 3 solution categories. Then based on the evaluation panel resulting rank order, along with additional considerations such as geographic balance and feasibility, the selection committee will review a selection of top scoring submissions and recommend up to 5 winners to receive $1 million each. So this brings us to another common question we receive about how do we ensure the process is fair? So to address this question, we have a web page dedicated specifically to explaining how we normalize scores. So if you go to the menu and click on Fairness, you can read more about how this works. So I mentioned that every valid application will first be scored by 5 fellow applicants. Then each application that moves on to the evaluation panel will also be reviewed by 5 total judges. This means that not every applicant, not every judge will look at every application. So our process includes the normalization or rescaling of scores to help make sure that you're not disadvantaged if by chance you were assigned to a hard grader and another applicant was reviewed by someone who tended to be a little more lenient with their numeric scores. So all scores will be statistically normalized to ensure fairness. Again, peer and evaluation panel reviewers will use the scoring rubric to provide those scores, and each evaluator is also required to provide at least 10 words of feedback for each trait to justify each score. So not only will you receive scores on your submission from 5 fellow applicants and 5 of the evaluation panel judges, you'll also get feedback. We find often that this feedback is one of the most important aspects of participating in our challenges for our applicants, and that even if you're not selected as a winner, you walk away with valuable feedback that you can then use to refine your solutions and seek other funding or expanded support. Next, on the website, we have the timeline page. So this will detail each phase of the challenge. You can click on timeline from the menu. Again, registration is required and must be completed no later than 5:00 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Tuesday, July 30th, for you to be able to submit an application. Once you register, you'll have access to the full application platform where you can enter and submit your application. And then the submission deadline is 5 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Tuesday, August 25th. The timeline goes on to list all other key dates related to the challenge, including peer review beginning in October, evaluation panel review beginning in November, then finally award selection and announcements in early 2027. The website also includes other helpful content like news and updates. So on the news and updates page, we'll post a recording of this webinar and any other important updates along the way. You can access that from the menu, it's news and updates, and please do continue checking this page for updates throughout the challenge. Another very important page is our FAQ. So this features answers to a series of frequently asked questions. This page will likely be updated after today's webinar, and we'll continue to update this page throughout the process. So if you haven't yet, please carefully read over all of these FAQs and check back for updated information and guidance. And now let's move on to the Q&A portion of the webinar. Again, if you submitted your questions by this past Monday, we have them, and they will be answered if we can today. And everyone, please do tune in, as there's a strong chance that your questions will be answered by others who have asked similar questions. And if not, please continue to add your questions to the questions box, and we'll get to as many as possible today. If you have questions after today's session or technical requests, please do email us at buildingthefuture@caret.net. And then one last reminder, as mentioned before, please note that to help ensure fairness for all our participants, we are not able to provide guidance that is very specific to your proposed solution or your team structure. All right, let's get started. I'll let Amy and Amare take it from here.
Thanks, Christabel. Let's start with general questions we've received about the challenge. How do I sign up to receive challenge correspondence like deadline reminders and application status updates?
Once you've registered and throughout the challenge, we will send important notifications to the email address associated with your account, as well as the primary and secondary contacts listed on your registration form. There are 3 important steps that you can take to make sure these messages are received. 1, please add buildingthefuture@caret.net to your contacts. 2, you can also whitelist our email address. There are instructions about how to add your whitelist under FAQ number 23 on the challenge website. 3, be sure to update your registration form right away if you have changes to your contact info. To do this, you can log into the platform, click on Submissions on the top right, and select Registration Form to update. If you need to make a change after the application window has closed, please email us and we will assist you.
Next question. What types of solutions are you looking for?
Strong proposals for Building the Future Workforce Challenge will meet 4 criteria outlined in the scoring rubric, and proposed solutions must focus on one or more of the 3 solution categories for Building the Future Workforce Challenge. The first category is focused on building interest and awareness of advanced manufacturing and industry technician careers. Proposed solutions for this category should aim to shift perceptions among students, teachers, parents, and other key influencers by showcasing the opportunities available in modern manufacturing and technician careers. The next priority is to prepare new workforce and entrants for day 1 success. These solutions will implement flexible, sustainable solutions that keep pace with technology and industry needs, enabling learners to arrive job-ready and increasing the likelihood of retention. Finally, we have a category focused on upskilling and reskilling the current manufacturing and industry technician workforce. Let's expand career pathways and mobility by implementing flexible, sustainable solutions that keep pace with technology, enabling current employees to build new technical and leadership capabilities. Please review the resources page to learn more about the priorities for this challenge.
Next question. Where can I learn more about key considerations as I develop my proposal?
We have compiled a resources page to help strengthen your application. It is strongly encouraged to review the definitions of key terms, tools, and other guidance and information included on the resources page to help strengthen your proposed solution for the Building the Future Workforce Challenge.
Now let's move on to questions about eligibility. Who can participate?
The Building the Future Workforce Challenge requires each applicant to identify a lead organization who will assume responsibility for the receipt and management of any award. While lead organizations may be located anywhere in the world, teams must demonstrate the ability to implement their proposed solutions within the continental United States, Brazil, India, or Mexico. For-profit companies and nonprofit organizations are eligible to apply, including 501c3 educational entities aiming to implement their proposed solution at more than one school. All applications will be reviewed for eligibility. Review the rules page for a complete set of eligibility requirements and take the readiness quiz to help gauge if you are eligible and a strong fit for this challenge.
Next question. Who would be considered ineligible?
The following types of organizations are not eligible to apply as a lead organization: individuals, government entities including non-501c3, pre-K to 12 education entities, tribal governments, United Nations agencies, intergovernmental bodies, and regional corporation agencies, Caterpillar's portfolio of brands and Carrot subsidiaries affiliates, and current Caterpillar Foundation or Caterpillar Inc. Social Impact Fund awardees. An exception would be members of larger or federated organizations if the applicant operates independently. Please carefully review the rules page for more information.
Are past and current grantees of Caterpillar and Caterpillar Foundation eligible to apply?
Past awardees, as well as organizations funded only through Caterpillar's United Way or Caterpillar Foundation employee matching programs, are eligible to participate. Please be sure to note any past work with Caterpillar Foundation or Caterpillar Inc. in responses with your application, such as under the track record and capabilities or other considerations. Again, organizations currently receiving funding from the Caterpillar Foundation or Caterpillar Inc. Social Impact Fund are not eligible to participate as a lead organization or team member, regardless of program alignment. Our rules and FAQ have more information.
Next question. Are Caterpillar organizations and affiliates allowed to be sub-recipients?
This competition is for organizations external to Caterpillar. Neither Caterpillar's portfolio of brands nor Carrot's subsidiaries and affiliates are eligible to participate. Winners will work closely with Caterpillar Inc. to support matchmaking at Caterpillar facilities and/or communities.
I have worked with members of the Caterpillar team over the past 4 years, and my students also work with a CAT facility as summer interns and with full-time roles. Are we eligible, and what is the best way to apply for this challenge?
To help ensure fairness for all our participants, we are not able to provide feedback that is specific to your proposed solution, but here's some info that we hope is helpful. Past engagement with Caterpillar does not deem you ineligible to participate, so long as you are not currently receiving funding from the Caterpillar Foundation or the Caterpillar Inc. Social Impact Fund. Please note, past awardees as well as organizations funded only through Caterpillar United Way or Caterpillar Foundation employee matching programs are eligible to participate. Please carefully review the rules, application, resources, and rubric to learn more about how best to apply for this challenge.
Next question. Can the lead organization collaborate with and subgrant to any other entities?
Eligible lead organizations are welcome to collaborate with other nonprofit organizations, companies, foundations, schools, colleges and universities, government agencies, individuals, and other entities to develop and implement the solution. By listing a collaborator, the lead organization confirms that they have conducted due diligence on any partner organizations included in the application and takes accountability for the disbursement and management of any subgrants should the lead organization receive an award from the Building the Future Workforce Challenge. While not required at this time, organizations proposing to work together may be asked to provide a fully executed Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, or a similar agreement signed by all participating organizations. This MOU will not be collected during the application process, but may be requested from teams that are selected as awardees. Please review our FAQ and rules for more information.
Are you primarily looking for innovations or for solutions with demonstrated potential that can be validated, enhanced, and scaled? If an applicant already has a workforce pathway model in place, what level of enhancement, adaptation, or innovation would Caterpillar expect to see for that solution to be competitive?
The challenge aims to identify, test, and scale innovative, sustainable solutions that will address today's and tomorrow's advanced manufacturing and industry technician gaps. A core requirement of any solution is that it remains relevant and amid evolving technology, ensuring that breakthrough innovation and human potential rise together. All applicants must provide clear data and evidence that the approach has delivered the proposed results and impact. Eligible solutions will be at one of the project stages listed on our resources page. You can scroll down to solution stage and evidence of effectiveness section for more information. Please review the scoring rubric to learn more about how we have defined a strong application, including as it relates to scalability, and additional information can be found in our FAQ under questions 6 and 7.
What types of solutions and project activities are ineligible?
Please see FAQ number 8 and sections 6 and 7 of the rules for ineligible project types and activities. For example, you'll see that traditional education or credentialing, including degree programs, accredited certifications, or standalone curriculum development, are not eligible. However, comprehensive programs that serve as part of a larger strategic and innovative approach are eligible.
Is there a minimum number of test facilities required? Are multi-site pilots encouraged? Or is there a preference for deeper implementation within a smaller number of communities? Is there a minimum number of support companies needed to satisfy the sustainability criteria on the rubric?
Answer. There is no minimum number of test facilities required. However, proposed solutions should have strong potential to be replicated and or generate learnings that are relevant within or beyond the local workforce ecosystem. The implementation plan, whether single or multi-site, should best serve the proposal as defined by the scoring rubric. As mentioned, winners will work closely with Caterpillar Inc. to support matchmaking at Caterpillar facilities and/or communities. With that, please review the scoring rubric and resources page to learn more about how we have defined a strong application.
Next question. Are proposals that focus on the business of space welcome?
Again, to help ensure fairness for our applicants, we're not able to provide feedback that is specific to your proposed solution. We recommend taking our readiness quiz to help gauge your eligibility and fit for this challenge, and please review our rules, FAQ, resources, and scoring criteria to learn more.
Does the lead organization need to be in the same state in which the proposed solution will be implemented?
No, the lead organization does not need to be in the same state as the proposed solution. While organizations may be located anywhere around the world, teams must demonstrate the ability to implement their proposed solutions within the continental United States, Brazil, India, or Mexico. Please be sure to carefully review the scoring rubric, especially feasibility, as you develop your proposal.
Our next set of questions are related to the application. How do I apply?
We encourage you to first assess your fit and eligibility for the Building the Future Workforce Challenge by taking the readiness tool, then register no later than 5 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Tuesday, July 30th, 2026 to participate. Registration is required and is a simple two-step process. First, create a username and password, then check your inbox to confirm your registration. Next, complete the online registration form. Once you are registered, submit your application online no later than 5 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Thursday, August 25th, 2026. Please note, in the interest of fairness, the application deadline is firm and the platform closes automatically at 5 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Please plan to log on and enter your application responses onto the platform well ahead of the deadline. If you have questions or need technical support, please email us ahead of the August 25th deadline to make sure we can assist you.
Next question. Could I complete more than one submission?
You may only complete one submission as the lead organization. An organization can serve as a partner on a team for multiple applications as long as each application proposes a separate, distinct solution. This means each project can only be submitted once, and we leave it up to each team to designate their eligible lead organization. Regional or local specific branches of larger organizations, as well as departments, schools, and nonprofits within or based in a college or university, can each register and submit separately as the lead organization on one application. Participants may list both the parent organization and the specific applicant or project in the lead organization field on the registration form, such as college, department, in parentheses, parent organization, or parent organization hyphen project name. For the situations I just mentioned, please note that the proposed projects must be separate and distinct. There should be no overlap in team members. The intent of this policy is to ensure that any team is concentrating their best effort into a single application. We encourage teams to select a single project that represents your organization's ability to deliver a solution that meets the scoring criteria. Review the rules page for more information.
Next question. Do you require a letter of support from each test facility? What leaders are eligible for signing the letter of support?
Letters of support are not required at this time, but teams are allowed to include them as images as part of their project visual PDF if they like. Please note, the Caterpillar team will work with each winner and match them with a Caterpillar facility for the 2-year project period.
Are application materials confidential?
Your submission may be shared with 5 of your fellow applicants as part of peer-to-peer review, 5 evaluation panel members, the selection committee, and others at the discretion of the Building the Future Workforce Challenge team during the evaluation process. Portions of your applications may be published online and may be shared with the general public to promote your proposal or to highlight results. These portions may include but are not limited to lead organization website, solution title, solution statement, executive summary, video pitch, and solution description.
Some of the terms and conditions, such as around publishing and intellectual property, are problematic for colleges and universities. Could we negotiate these terms?
We are not able to amend the website terms and conditions or provide legal advice, but the terms are fairly standard and typical of all of our programs and competition prize websites. We have had a number of colleges and universities who have been able to participate and win under these rules and terms and conditions. As mentioned, your submission may be shared with 5 of your fellow applicants as part of the peer-to-peer review, 5 evaluation panel members, selection committee judges, and the challenge team during the evaluation process. All peer reviewers and evaluation panel judges will be required to commit to keeping all application materials they review confidential. We ask that applicants avoid sharing sensitive or proprietary information while also providing as much relevant information as necessary for reviewers to evaluate. In terms of publishing, we mean that portions of your application may be posted online, such as on the challenge website, and may be shared by the challenge team with the general public to promote your proposal or to highlight results. These portions may include, but are not limited to, lead organization, lead org website, solution title, solution statement, executive summary, video pitch, and solution description. The Building the Future Workforce Challenge also plans to feature a searchable database on the website to include a summary of data for each valid applicant. This search engine will be an opportunity for potential funders, partners, and others to learn more about the solutions proposed through this challenge. Applicants will have the opportunity to opt out and decline participation in the search engine or in any announcements of results if they prefer. Should your team become the winner, you will enter into a direct and separate award agreement with Caterpillar, and there will be opportunity to review and confirm any revised or new agreements and/or terms and conditions for your review and signature before reviewing funds and initiating the 2-year project period.
Let's move on to questions about evaluation and selection. How will submissions be assessed? What is peer review?
Once the submission deadline passes, the Building the Future Workforce team will confirm that each submission meets the rules and submission requirements before advancing valid applications to peer-to-peer review. The peer-to-peer review process consists of valid applicants reviewing submissions from their peers. This will take place in October 2026 and is required for applicants to remain eligible for the prize. Peer reviewers will use the scoring rubric to provide scores and valuable feedback on their assigned submissions, and all scores will be statistically normalized to ensure fairness. Each application will receive scores and comments from 5 peer reviewers. Based on the rank order of scores, a selection of top scoring applications will move forward to the evaluation panel, who will also use the same scoring rubric to review their assigned proposals.
Next question. What happens during the evaluation panel and selection committee review process?
The evaluation panel consists of industry experts that will serve as judges who use a scoring rubric to provide scores and valuable feedback on assigned submissions. All scores will be statistically normalized to ensure fairness. Applicants that advance to the evaluation panel will be reviewed by 5 judges. Informed by the resulting rank order of the applications after evaluation panel review, along with additional considerations, for example, variety of solution types, geographic balance, and feasibility, the challenge team will present a slate of top scoring applications to the selection committee. The committee will recommend up to 5 awards of $1 million each and the opportunity to pilot and implement their proposed solution at 1 or more Caterpillar communities over a 2-year project period.
What are the scoring criteria? What outcomes would define success at the conclusion of a 2-year implementation period?
The criteria are listed on our website. You can go to the menu, then select Scoring Process, then Scoring Rubric. The 4 criteria are future-proof, sustainable impact, feasibility, and scalable. Applicants are strongly encouraged to review and test drive the scoring rubric and review the evidence of effectiveness section under our resources page to understand how we define a strong proposal for building the future workforce challenge. This rubric will be used by reviewers and evaluation panel judges to score and provide feedback on their assigned proposals. Based on the application requirements and scoring rubric, we leave it up to each team to define what success looks like for their proposed solutions. Please carefully review our resources page and the application requirements, especially Section G, Monitoring and Evaluation, for more information. Please note, on the application form, teams must demonstrate that they will meet all staffing, funding, and other resource requirements necessary to begin the 2-year project period in March 2027. Dates are subject to change. Applicants will have opportunity to explain financial plans and other funding sources on the application under sections like contingency and financial sustainability and other project financing.
Next question. Will applicants receive feedback on their submissions?
All eligible applicants who participate in peer-to-peer review will receive anonymized and normalized scores and feedback from 5 of their fellow applicants through the platform. Applicants advancing to the evaluation panel will receive an additional set of anonymized normalized scores and comments from 5 expert judges. All reviewers are required to provide comments to justify each score. As mentioned, we find that the feedback you'll receive can be one of the most important aspects of participating in challenges like this. And even if you are not selected for an award, you walk away with valuable feedback that you can use to refine your proposal and seek other funding, partners, and support.
Next question. How can we use the Building of the Future Workforce Challenge Award?
Award funds must be used for the proposed project for which they are intended and may be dispersed to partners for project-related purposes. Please review the rules page for more information about prohibited use of funds.
Next question. What if the future workforce were not built around getting people to the job, but around creating an intelligent, adaptive system that helps people and employers succeed together once they get there?
Yes, one of the solution categories for this challenge is to upskill and reskill the current advanced manufacturing and industry technician workforce. The challenge invites sustainable solutions that keep pace with technology, enabling current employees to build new technical and leadership capabilities.
Next question. Would the sponsor need to be listed as the primary contact instead of the company, with the company listed as secondary? Since the company would be responsible for all the reporting, it feels appropriate that we lead and Model C fiscal sponsor would just act as the pass-through.
Fiscal sponsorship applicants may list both its fiscal sponsor and the nonprofit organization in the lead organization field on the registration form, such as organization name, then in parentheses, fiscal sponsor name. We leave the primary contact and other application questions up to each participant to decide and respond in a way that best represents their proposal.
Or for organizations with an existing program model, how important is demonstrating a clear pathway for national replication compared to demonstrating deep impact in one community?
Given the differing needs and realities of local communities, Caterpillar recognizes that not all models can or should be replicated nationally. With that, Caterpillar is seeking a flexible, scalable solution that has the potential to be adapted to a variety of local contexts.
How will solution providers and Caterpillar sites or communities be matched? Should submitters consider partnerships with those communities prior to submission?
Caterpillar is developing a process to facilitate matchmaking between solution providers and Caterpillar facilities and/or communities that may engage a reputable third-party collaborator to support this coordination. Oh, and may engage. Submitters are not required to establish collaborations with specific communities prior to submission. However, feasibility is a key evaluation criteria, as noted on the scoring rubric. Applicants will be assessed on factors such as their expertise, resources, organizational capacity, understanding of local conditions, stakeholder buy-in, and other elements that demonstrate their ability to effectively test and evaluate the proposed solution in one of the aforementioned countries.
Next question. Does the application need to address all three pillars: interest, awareness, prepare new workforce, and skilling and reskilling, or can just one or two be addressed?
Your proposal must align with one or more of the solution categories of the Building the Future Workforce Challenge.
Next question. Am I hearing you say that you must have a Caterpillar facility in your area and or state in order to apply?
No, however, your solution must have the potential to be tested and or implemented in a Caterpillar facility and or community in the United States, Brazil, India, or Mexico. The challenge is seeking best-in-class solutions.
If we operate in different countries, whether we need to submit separate applications?
If you have distinct divisions within a larger organization, you may register for each division and submit a separate and distinct application. On the registration form, you can list both the larger organization and the specific division as the lead organization name. If you are one lead organization that can implement your solution in more than one location, there's an opportunity for you to note that through your application form.
Next question. How many applications do you anticipate? How many registrants are on this webinar? How many teams do you anticipate moving past the peer review stage?
We're unable to share this information at this time. Thank you for your interest.
Will applicants receive updates throughout the review process?
Yes, those who pass admin review will be notified when peer review has begun. You will also be notified once anonymized and normalized peer review scores and feedbacks are available for your review on the platform. This is similar for those who move on to the evaluation panel.
Next question. Does the organization applying for this challenge need to be a well-known, popular organization, or grassroots and new organizations also have a fair choice? Fair chance.
Answer. All organizations will be evaluated consistently as outlined in the scoring rubric.
Is the focus on hourly employees only? If yes, for future-proof technical skills, how do we address the non-hourly workforce to team with us to test our solutions so that it is sustainable?
Please refer to the high demand jobs description resource available on the resources page. As part of the testing and evaluation process, Caterpillar will work with selected solution providers to identify and engage the appropriate mix of Caterpillar employees to support implementation, feedback, and long-term sustainability of the solution.
Next question. Our organization has a strong track record in other sectors, but our work with advanced manufacturing is in the pilot stage, and we want to know if Caterpillar would consider funding early stage work.
Yes, Caterpillar is open to supporting solutions that are at an early stage of application within the advanced manufacturing sector. However, as noted on FAQ number 7, applicants should provide clear data and evidence demonstrating that their approach has achieved the proposed outcomes and impact. This evidence may come from implementations in other sectors, geographies, or contexts, provided it helps demonstrate the solution's effectiveness and potential to succeed in addressing the identified workforce challenges.
Given the international nature of the deployment plan, do you want contest applications to be submitted in multiple languages or only in English?
For the purposes of this challenge, responses to the submission form must be in English. This provides consistency across all submissions during our review process and reduces the risk of misinterpretation or translation error.
How do you handle the budget of asset investment for learning factory-based workforce development model, CNC machines, welding machines, robots, etc.?
Answer. Costs needed to implement your solution should be included in the budget.
Is a public institutions of higher education eligible to apply?
Yes, nonprofit education entities are eligible to apply as long as they meet the eligibility requirements outlined in FAQ 3. Please also review Section 1 of the rules for more info and note, if awarded, solutions led by educational entities should implement their proposed solution at more than one school and should not be limited to serving only that lead organization.
Next question. Are solutions focused on employee wellness, physical fitness, workload management, and team building part of the second focused area, prepare workforce?
To help ensure fairness for our participants, we cannot provide feedback that is very specific to your proposed solution. Please review the resources page, the application requirements, and the scoring rubric to learn more about how we have defined a strong proposal.
Can you elaborate on the two references?
As part of the application form, applicants will enter the name and contact information for 2 references. References should be from individuals with knowledge of and experience with your relevant work and can comment on the merit of your proposed solution. Please note that this information will not be shared during peer-to-peer review and evaluation panel review. These references should be prepared to be contacted in late fall 2026 should you advance to the final stage of this challenge.
Do we have to specify a solution category in our application? What if our project addresses more than one solution category?
Yes, you will select the primary solution category. On the application, you can note and describe other solution categories your solutions will address, such as under Section E, the solution on the application.
Next question. If the innovation is focused on building awareness, is it also necessary to bundle awareness building with an actual skills development mechanism?
No, one of the 3 solution categories is to build interest and awareness of advanced manufacturing and industry technician careers.
Next question. Can you clarify whether a relationship with our local Caterpillar company is allowed or not allowed?
Relationships with local Caterpillar facilities do not disqualify you from participating in this challenge.
Next question. What distinguishes the finalist from a good application? Beyond innovation, what characteristics consistently make reviewers confident that a solution is worth investing in?
Solutions must remain relevant amid evolving technology, ensuring breakthrough innovation and human potential rise together. As mentioned, the scoring rubric outlines the 4 criteria, along with the scoring range definitions that explain what we see as a strong solution. Please consider the rubric as you develop your solution.
Next question. The materials reference manufacturing technicians. Would organizations that deliver skills training in advanced manufacturing occupations align with this grant?
Please see the high demand job descriptions included on the resources page. This resource includes mechanics as a high demand job.
Will you define warehouse logistics from Caterpillar's perspective?
Please see the high demand job descriptions included on the resource page.
All right, that brings us to the end of our questions at this point. We do have a few more minutes. If you have any additional questions, we will do our best to answer them in our remaining time today. If we didn't get to your question, it might be something we need to discuss, and we'll respond to you directly by email after the session. And we'll also likely update our FAQs to address some of the questions asked on today's session. And while we wait to see if we have more questions, I'll share some more quick reminders. So again, even if you haven't decided yet if you're going to apply, please do go ahead and register no later than 5:00 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Tuesday, July 30th. This way, you're registered and you have the opportunity to participate should you decide later. You can also edit your registration form at any point for the submission deadline. So if the lead organization changes, contact info changes, you have opportunity to do that as well. But you do need to make sure you're registered by July 30th to be able to participate. And again, if you have questions that are very specific to your solution or your team structure, to help ensure fairness, we are not answering those today, but you can email us at buildingthefuture@carrot.net. A couple more questions coming in, so hopefully we can get to those before we end our session today. So please do enter them into the Q&A tab. That'll help us make sure we see them and get your questions answered today. See some questions about confirming registration. Yes, if you did not opt in for the email confirmation, if you log in and see that you have access to the application form and the forums, that means that you have properly registered for the challenge and can proceed with submitting your application. And as you can imagine, there is high
Question?
interest in this. Oh, go ahead, Amy.
I'm sorry. We have a question ready. I know the goal is to implement or test a strategy at the Caterpillar site. How would training for new hires do this?
Please note that the goal is to test or implement in a Caterpillar community and/or facility.
One moment.
Again, please make sure you're entering your questions in the Q&A tab. Probably get another minute or two to answer some questions before we head into closing. And again, put some links into the chat. That link to the resources page has quite a bit of information there that we hope is helpful for you all. More information will be added to resources throughout this process as well, similar to the FAQ page. So please do check back on FAQ, resources, news and updates with more helpful information throughout this process. And yes, if your question was not answered today, we are exploring answers for you and we'll be in touch soon, likely by email. And if you haven't already, please do add Building the Future at carrot.net to your safe senders or whitelist it, add it to your contacts. This helps make sure you do receive important communications from us, especially around peer review and deadlines. So again, please add Building the Future at carrot.net to your safe senders. I think we'll be able to answer one more question for you all today before we head into the closing remarks. And again, we are having another webinar on Thursday, August 10th. So please save the date for that. That will include a demo of the application platform and will be another opportunity to ask more questions, especially as you dive deeper into the application form. That webinar will only be available to registrants, so please be sure to register for the challenge ahead of July 30th. And of course, that webinar will also be recorded and shared with registrants on forums on the platform and emailed to you as well. Thank you for your patience as we get one more answer ready for you all. And I will also say there is high interest in this challenge. So strongly recommend if you do have questions, ask them early so it can make sure we can respond to you in time ahead of these deadlines that are approaching in July and August. And just a note that on August 25th, platform does close automatically. So you will not be able to proceed with your application if you have not completely entered all of your data. So again, please start early on your application to make sure that your submission was completed in time. All right, Amy, looks like we have one ready for us.
Okay. If the application is not successful through this challenge, but Caterpillar finds value in the solution, is it possible the Caterpillar might fund the proposal?
Caterpillar is open to using the results of this challenge to explore solving workforce development challenges more generally.
Thank you, everyone. Again, so much for joining us, and we look forward to your participation in the Building the Future Workforce Challenge. And now I'll hand things over to Asha and the CAT team for any closing remarks.
Wonderful. Thank you, Christabel. And in closing, I just want to thank Carrot for the webinar as well as conducting this challenge on behalf of Caterpillar and each and every one of you for your time and your interest and your strong participation in building a stronger, more sustainable future workforce. So we look forward to reviewing your application. Please keep in mind some of the deadlines that Christabel mentioned, and even more importantly, to what we can accomplish together. With that, have a great day and have a great week, everyone. Thank you.